Well, good morning, everybody. Almost afternoon. I'm Davis Nolan, and this is Two Gives Back, and we are at the Nashville Metro North Precinct this morning to talk about a new program they have. And here with me is Lieutenant Ed Rucker and also Sergeant Paul Stein to tell me about what they called. Let you tell me what it is, Lieutenant Rucker.
Well, thank you first for being here, and this is the APR Alternate Police Response Program.
Okay, now, the main thing is what this does, and I guess, Paul, I'll let you talk about this. Tell us exactly what this does for the public.
What this program does, this unit does, is it answers calls for service that are of low priority, ones that don't necessarily need a police officer to respond to the scene, to take the report, which in turn allows the officers that are out there to answer higher priority calls and get to calls in a more timely fashion. So we're creating opportunities for the patrol officers to be more proactive, to engage with the community by taking these reports.
Okay, now, basically, so this frees up the officers to take more urgent requests, something that's more life-threatening and that type of thing. But so what are some of the examples of what, if let's say I called Metro Police about a certain thing, what would be an example, I ask you, Lieutenant Rucker, of something that's that type of call that these people would handle?
Mainly, sir, they're going to be property crimes, calls for service that, again, don't require an officer to respond, in an emergency fashion. Let's say, you lost your tag on your car or something was stolen while you were visiting, one of many places to visit here in Nashville. Things like that can be handled over the phone.
Okay, so does this, obviously this frees up other officers. Does this help with the response time to those type of things? Because in the past, let's say an officer that's got an urgent thing with a life-threatening, let's say, crime in progress, and then suddenly somebody's calling about, somebody broke in my house and stole my TV set and a computer, and would this increase the response time to both of them, shall we say?
So what the citizen can do is if they have a low priority call, such as a theft or a shoplifting, they can contact the non-emergency phone number 862-8600, or they can go on Hub Nashville as well, and they can request to make a report over the phone. Those reports are then routed to our pending calls, and then one of the call takers behind me, who are retired law enforcement officers, will then answer those calls, call the citizen, and take that report. That allows for the folks on the street, again, to have a higher response and a quicker response time to those higher priority calls. Typically, so far year to date from February 28th, the unit has answered taken 13,500 reports and answered almost 18,000 calls for service.
Wow. So tell us about these officers and volunteers. I don't know about volunteers, but tell us who the people are that are actually manning. And as a matter of fact, I guess you can't see it around us, but this is quite an operations center. Not only do you have computers around us, but there's a monitor that looks like it has more monitors in our control room in it up there, monitoring the streets and everything. Tell us who the people are that are doing this work here.
Well, we are very, very fortunate to have, officers that have spent just decades on the street, and that comes with a ton of experience, so that when they're taking these calls, they're very familiar with the situation. So, you name it. We have officers that's worked in domestic violence. We have officers that's worked in schools for years. We have officers that's worked in just many, many different investigative backgrounds that join us here each and every day. And again, that's just the power behind, getting to 13,000 calls for service and answering over 18,000.
Okay. Well, one more time, I guess, is, where people go, what the number is. I know you just said it, but we want to just reinforce that. Where people go to report a crime, or let's say, like I say, a house got broken into, it's not still an ongoing crime, but, I need to report that I had stuff stolen from my house. Go ahead and tell us how people respond to that.
So if you have a lower priority call or a property crime that meets the criteria, they can call the non-emergency phone number at 615-862-8600. They can let the operator know that they speak to, that they are willing to have the report taken by phone, at which point that'll be routed to our team here at the APR unit, and one of the team members will give them a call. Also, they can visit Hub Nashville, and if they click on the police tab, it'll take them to a place where they can opt to make a report, and that'll be transferred to our pending calls as well. Or additionally, they can call 311, which is Hub Nashville as well. They can speak to an operator, and then again, that will be routed to the APR team for a member to answer.
Okay, so 311, that's something I didn't realize there. So, well, before we go here, Lieutenant Rucker, you've had a lot to do with putting this thing together. Is that right?
Very small part to do with it. This guy right here, Mr. Sergeant Stein, is certainly major help. Even bigger help is obviously our staff that come here to take care of these calls. It couldn't be done without them, and obviously having the trust of the community and the police administration to have this opportunity and the route just to serve our citizens is a great thing. Anything
else you want to add?
No, we just thank you for News Channel 2 and the opportunity to get this information out to the citizens, to make sure they're aware of this great program and this great team behind us that are making a difference here in Nashville.
Okay, so this is to help with response times to everything. In other words, policemen that are out on a serious crime can get to that crime quicker and more efficiently when they don't have to deal with other things, like me reporting, let's say somebody broke into my house and my TV set was stolen or something like that. So it's a really good situation to have. And we want to thank Trevecca Nazarene University. They've been one of our sponsors for quite a while now. And also the Nashville Predators. They are one of our sponsors as well. So Nashville Trevecca Nazarene University, as well as the Nashville Predators. We want to thank you for being our sponsor. And again, we're reporting from the North Precinct here at Metro Nashville. And thank you for joining us here on Two Gives Back.